So, in this episode, we are talking about the work you need to be doing currently to make sure you ascend smoothly into 5D. In this episode, you will understand exactly the work you should be doing right now to make sure you're ascending into 3D. You'll also understand how you need to do it. And I'm going to tell you what happens if you don't do it. So, my name is Aloise.life. I'm a transformational teacher and coach. I'm the creator of the Dharma Life Academy, and I'm also the host of the Dharma Life podcast. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, ring the bell to be notified about the episodes. I also interview incredible thought leaders changing the world and helping us ascend into 5D. So, make sure to subscribe not to miss. So, what is the work you need to be doing right now to make sure that you ascend smoothly into 5D? Well, it's really important that we are in energetic alignment. If you haven't already realized, there is a huge, great awakening happening on the planet. If this is the first time you've heard the term Great Awakening, please go to my podcast and listen to the Great Awakening 1 and the Great Awakening 2. There's a massive spiritual awakening happening on the planet. And consequently, Gaia, the planet, is shifting up into unity consciousness. She's going whether we like it or not. And our job is to make sure our ascension journey is as smooth as possible. So the work you need to be doing right now is to make sure that you are getting your house and your life in order. Think about your life right now and think about what areas of your life are working and what areas aren't. Because it's really important that we are focusing on these areas and making sure that they are working. So let's go through a couple of areas, and I want you to be totally honest with yourself, and I want you to really examine your life. So think about the different areas of your life. You need to be in energetic alignment, because if you're not in energetic alignment, your journey will be much more difficult. Things will come up for you to look at. You will have breakdowns. What we want is we want this to be an enjoyable experience. So we have to be our authentic selves. It's really, really important that we are our authentic selves. So think about the different areas of your life. You've got your home life, where you live, what area you live in, what country you live in, what property you live in. Think about that. Is that something that you are completely happy with? Are there any changes that you could make there? Think about your relationships. Are you in the relationship of your dreams? Are you single? Are you in a toxic relationship? Is there anything you would like to up level in your relationships? Think about your finances. Think about your purpose. Are you doing the job and the career and the thing that you want to be doing? So important that we are true to ourselves. If you're going through the motions, if you're in a job that you hate, it will be unbearable. You know, we've just had this huge lockdown, this huge break where we've been forced to go inwards and examine ourselves and our lives. A lot of us have been working from home, and it will be really difficult for you to go back to a job you hate, because it will be so pronounced now. And as things shift and rise, you can know from the human resonance that the planet is rising. As that continues to shift and rise, it will become more and more pronounced what things are out of alignment that you need to look at. Now, I've created a 5D life audit that you are welcome to go and download to help you with this process. Go to Aloise.life and you can get your free 5D life audit. And what we do is we take you through all the different areas of life, and we get you to be truly honest with yourself and look at what work you need to be doing right now. Now, what happens if you don't do this work? You could completely ignore what I'm saying, but unfortunately, with this energy shifting and rising, anything that's not in alignment with unity consciousness is coming up for healing. It basically means that anywhere we are not being true to ourselves, anywhere we haven't cleaned up our house, will become unbearable. So, really imperative that we are doing this work at this time. Imagine that you are living in this incredible new 5D Earth. There's no way that you would have a job that sucks. There's just not going to be the way it works. You will be living in flow with the universe, doing what you love and making money from it, essentially. So all this stuff is coming up now. I've seen it in lots and lots of my coaching clients, where they maybe haven't looked at parts of themselves, their shadow work, maybe where they have disowned parts of themselves and they haven't necessarily come into energetic alignment. They haven't necessarily woken up. They haven't necessarily operating in their higher chakras. They're operating in survival. Anything like that now is really coming to the surface for them to examine. So this is critical for us to do at the moment. I'll do another video on shadow work, actually, because it's a really massive topic. And also shadow work is something that we really, really should be doing right now, because, again, it's really imperative for us to do shadow work, because if we don't, it will bite us on the bum. So, recap. What should you be doing right now? Well, you should take a hard, honest look at your life. Download our 5D audit, go through everything that's working. Where are you following your highest excitement? When we follow our highest excitement to the best of our ability with no expectation on the outcome, we are walking that optimal path in life. So I'm going to give you an example from my life. Slowly but surely, since I became conscious and since I had my spiritual awakening about 12 years ago, I've worked on different aspects of my life. I've looked at my finances, I looked at my relationships, I looked at my career and my work, because I was very out of alignment with that only up until about 5 years ago. And I've kind of chipped lots of different things off. So now I feel very in flow, very in alignment. But the thing that's coming up for me right now is body. Okay, I've never had a very particularly easy relationship with my body, a lot of self-hate. And for me right now, that is really coming up for me to look at. So work out what area you want to focus on, use the audit, get clear, pick one. Don't overwhelm yourself. Remember this to be loving towards yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you've got things that you need to work on. You're a human being. That's why you came to Earth. Pick one area that you want to work on. Focus on it. Give yourself a period of time. Say for the next month, I'm going to look at X, and then go to work. So in the area of body, what I'm really, really doing now is I'm focusing on self-love. For me to be in 5D on a continuous basis, I can't have this push-pull relationship with my body. It just won't work. And what we believe, we create. So it's really important for me right now to love myself more than I've ever loved myself, because that is how I will see the changes. Now, I know this mentally, but putting it into practice has been something that's been really quite difficult for me. But I know right now that this is coming up for healing. I really need to look at this, so I am committed. So what am I doing in that area? Just to give you some ideas, because hopefully this might help when you're doing your work. So I like to come at things from different angles. I like to sort of look at them in different ways. So the first thing I'm doing is I've got into fasting. I'm fasting kind of every other day. I'm having one meal. I'm having 2 meals on the other day. And to be honest with you, initially that was quite difficult because I like my food, but I found it was more mental than anything else. And I've also discovered that when I meditate on an empty stomach, wow, incredible. So that's given me a lot of encouragement to keep going. The other thing I'm doing is I am using this, which is like grapefruit oil. So this oil is all about body image and helping me let go of any low-level emotions I've got, the self-hatred, the lack of self-confidence around the body. This oil essentially will bring up that stuff for me to look at. and help me integrate and process the emotions. So important that we are doing this work and we are feeling our feelings, because remember, what you resist will always persist. So the more I resist and push and kind of force my body and be angry with my body that it's not the way I want it to look, the more it will persist that way. So do your work, open up the emotions, open up the feelings and feel them and integrate them. And the other thing that I'm doing right now is I'm using audio tapes. So when I go to sleep, I'm listening, I'm reprogramming my mind, I'm reprogramming my brain into this pattern of self-love. What you believe is what you create. So I know that I need to work on my unconscious beliefs before they show up externally. So that's just an example from my life, but so important that we are doing this work at the moment. Because what will happen if we ignore this stuff, if you ignore the fact that you're in a job that you don't like, if you ignore the fact that you're in a relationship that you don't like, if you ignore the part of your body or your life that isn't working, it's just out of resonance with the consciousness shift that is happening. So the breakdown will get bigger and bigger and bigger. We are ascending, we are going, right? Whether we like it or not. So much better to get on board, be conscious of what you're doing and commit to a specific area of life. Now, I've got a couple of things that can support you. As I said, Aloise.life is where you can go and get your free 5D life audit. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Dharma Life podcast. We are on iTunes, just launching the YouTube channel. So I'm going to be on YouTube a lot more. So please come and follow me if you're not already on YouTube. I'm going to be interviewing incredible thought leaders as well. So I've got some incredible people lined up. Elizabeth April. I'm interviewing Beat Simpkin. I'm also interviewing Anna Wood, Aaron Back. Any 5D Ascension leaders, put them on my radar. I'm really keen to interview them. I'm going to be doing some roundtables coming up in the future as well. Life is incredible at the moment. If you are awakened and you get yourself into alignment, you will love the next 4 years. Over the course of the next 4 years, the old systems, the old paradigms are breaking down and we will be birthing this new earth. We are on that 5D ascension timeline. So it's never been a better time for you to clean up and clean your house and get everything in order. My name's Aloise.life Middleton, and I'm going to be your guide in creating a 5D life in alignment with your soul.
Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post, and please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.